trying to move Tony so he doesn't lay on me right away. He can lay on me at the end, but not right now. But anyways, welcome to this video of Up and Moving with me, Corey, and you'll see my two little co-hosts around, Tony and Charlie. And so today, our traditional yoga. Feel free to grab out a mat or a towel, or maybe just at least be on like a nice, like soft carpet surface. If you want to grab a pillow, feel free to grab a pillow. I was really thinking this morning of just a relaxing yoga. I don't know, this week has just been hectic. My final week at Tech, which is crazy. And then I'm sure for faculty and staff at Tech, like you guys are grading papers, getting stuff done for the end of the week. You know, honestly, I think everyone maybe just had a stressful, hectic week like me and everybody else. So we'll just go ahead and start in a nice, comfortable seated position. Remember our nice upright posture, even having that core engaged. I always like to say, pretend that there's like a little string. Someone's pulling you from the top of your head like a little puppet. And sitting up nice and tall. Legs, whatever is comfortable for you, in a crisscross applesauce position. And I sometimes try to go into a little lotus where I have my feet as much as possible kind of up. Relaxing our hands wherever's comfortable. And from here, we'll just take some nice deep breaths. So inhaling and exhaling. All right, we're gonna get into some of my favorite neck stretches. I'm gonna take my right hand first, cross it up and over my head. If you're able to touch your left ear, it's kind of like a good indication too that your hand is over. But then I'm just gonna lightly pull my right ear down to my right shoulder. So you're feeling a nice stretch in the side of your neck here. I don't know, I was doing something at work yesterday and I just got like the biggest kink in my neck on this side. I was like, oh, that's weird. I've never felt that before. I did this stretch and it helped. You can go ahead and put your hand out at the side too. Let's see, to get a little bit of a deeper stretch there. And again, our last kind of variation for this, you can take your hand and kind of just rest it behind your back. And from here, feel free to drop your chin down into your chest, still keeping that ear kind of like more towards your right shoulder, but just dropping the chin in. Can readjust your hand so it's a little bit more on the back of the head. And then this one, we feel it a little bit more towards the back of the neck there, but kind of like the midway between the side and the back of the neck. All right, on an inhale, feel free to release that. Kind of shake it out a little bit too. We'll go in on the other side here, taking our left hand, crossing it up and over our head towards the right ear. Dropping the left ear down towards the shoulder. Again, we can take our right hand, kind of lean it out to the side. You are more than welcome to keep your hand on your knee if you'd like. All right, and feel free if you want to rest that hand behind your back to get an even deeper stretch. That's the next option. All right, and feel free to bring that chin in towards the chest, readjusting the hand so it's a little bit more towards the back of the head. All right, on an inhale, feel free to release that. You can kind of do a little bit of a head circle to shake that out. Go ahead and do the back of the neck stretch here. I'll kind of turn to the side, but I like to put my hands up, kind of interlaced behind my head here a little bit, having my elbows out at first, but then as I draw my elbows in, I drop my chin down to my chest. And again, just not a forceful tug, but just a nice like light tug. So you're just at least feeling a little nice stretch in the back of your neck. And then inhale, feel free to release that. And I'm going to go ahead and extend my legs out now because we'll be getting into a nice seated forward fold. And again, remember to keep your posture up nice and tall, keeping that chest also like nice and open. Feel free to kind of roll those shoulders back a little bit. But from here, we'll just kind of, you can lightly walk your hands forward, kind of rest them wherever is comfortable for you. You can have them on your shins, on the floor. You can go ahead and grab your toes. But you want to try to keep that spine nice and as straight as you can, or at least keeping kind of the chest a little bit more open. All right, feel free to go back, sitting up nice and tall with me. I'm going to take my left foot first, bend it so that my foot's kind of next to my right knee here. You can either leave your foot like this or go ahead and cross it over the right. And then we're just going to go ahead, taking that right arm, giving your left knee a little hug, looking out towards the left. We'll get a nice little twist in here. And again, even remembering for this, that there's an imaginary string coming from your head. Try to keep that nice upright posture. All right, feel free to release that. We're gonna go over and do the right side now. So again, bending that right leg, crossing it over or leaving it at the original position, but go ahead and give that right leg a hug. Over towards the right. All right, feel free to release that one and put your foot back, meeting the left. From here, we're gonna go into what's called I call it the butterfly pose. And so I bring the bottoms of my feet together instead of like traditionally sitting crisscross applesauce. You wanna get your knees down, I think as much as you can to what's comfortable, bringing your feet in, kind of just whatever's a comfortable feet in towards the middle of the body. And again, sitting up nice and tall. And from here, we're just going to lower the chest down towards the feet. All right, on an inhale, you can sit up nice and tall again. We're gonna go ahead and find table pose. And so having our hands right underneath our shoulders, our knees right underneath our hips, that core engaged. You wanna try to keep that spine as straight as possible here, like we're a table and are about to serve a buffet on it. So once you find this position, we're gonna go ahead and kind of drop the belly, lift the head up, lift the chest up. Inhaling cow. Exhale, we're gonna kind of lift the spine up, bring the tailbone in, dropping the head in towards the chest for cat. Inhale, rounding down the spine, lifting the head, lifting the chest. Cow. Exhaling, tucking that tailbone in, dropping the head. Cat. Inhaling, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. You can go ahead and do these kind of at your own pace too as well. Exhale, cat. I even sometimes like to add in a little twist, so I'll kind of like twist my body towards like the right side, like kind of like even getting a little crunch in. Inhaling the cow. Exhale, finish the circle going towards the left. Cat. Of course, got to go back and go the other direction, so towards the left first. Inhaling to cow. Exhale, cat. On your next inhale, though, feel free to find table position again. And we'll go ahead and bring the toes kind of together like your big toes are kissing. Bring the bottom back. And we can rest in child's pose. And for this too, you can bring your hands out in front of you into whatever's comfortable. I would even say here is a good place to grab your pillow so you can kind of rest your forehead or your head on it. You can even kind of rest it between the legs there too. This would be a good place to use a pillow. On an inhale, find table pose again. Feel free to pull that pillow to the side as well if you were using a pillow. And from here, you have two options. You can either just bring your hands out more in front of you so you're in your puppy pose. Otherwise, curl those toes, lift the bottom up, and find down dog. And go ahead and kind of play around with it, pedal your feet. I know I've been having very tight all of the back of my legs lately. But yep, you can make down dog kind of your own. That's what I like about this pose. You can go ahead and even do go from the right side, kind of doing a one-legged dog. Try to stretch the back of that calf there. Down dog on the other side, or one-legged dog on the other side. Always balancing the body out. Another thing that I like to do, and I've kind of shown in a couple of my other videos too, is I like to, if you're in down dog, you go ahead and you kind of bend your knees. If you're in puppy pose, you are able to just kind of hover your knees up if you're able to, but then just kind of twisting the core, it really wakes the core up, starts activating it. From there, I can go back up. Can even kind of lean towards one side, so I'm kind of leaning more towards the right side, getting a bit of a stretch in the arm there. Go ahead and over to the left side too, if you're doing that with me. But of course, these are just some options for you doing your down dog to wake the body up here. But on an inhale, we're going to go ahead and start just lowering the body down to the ground. Exhale, we're going to lift the chest up. Take a couple deep breaths here in Cobra. You can fully extend your arms. Have a little bend in them, kind of whatever's comfortable for this pose. But exhale, bringing it back to your down dog. And from here, you can either step the left leg, or you can inhale, lift it up. Exhale, step it through. If you need to even adjust a little bit more, feel free to adjust. But from here, we'll drop that back leg, untuck the toes, kind of start leaning into that lunge here. And on an inhale, when you're ready, you can lift that body up, making sure to kind of check to make sure you're nice and square. Shoulders stacked on top of hips here. Even making sure too that your hips are kind of in line as you're being kind of like pushing a little bit more forward, so we're getting that nice stretch kind of right in here. Then on an exhale too, you can kind of drop the hands behind your back here to open that chest up even a little bit more. On an inhale, feel free to start kind of extending that front leg and go ahead and start leaning towards it as well. Doing a little bit of a half split stretch here. If your foot's uncomfortable being completely flat, feel free to lift the toes up. Kind of just whatever's comfortable. If it's comfortable for your foot to be flat, that's awesome. But feel free to lift it too if it's a little bit too much of a stretch. All right, on an inhale, feel free to start putting a bend back into that front leg, bringing it kind of a bit more forward. You can have your hands up. But on an inhale, we're going to bring our hands back down, one on each side of the foot, curling those toes on the back foot, lifting up, bringing our left foot back to meet the right. Go ahead and exhale, start lifting the body down. Inhale, lifting that chest up to cobra. And exhale, finding your down dog. And now from here, if you need to take a child's pose for a little bit, feel free to take that. That is always there for you. Whenever you need a little break, you can always come back to us, come back and join us in our practice. We're going to go ahead, do our right leg here. So of course, either step your right foot in between your hands, otherwise inhale, lifting up to single leg dog. Exhale, bringing the foot between the hands. Of course, adjust accordingly to what's comfortable for you. We're going to go ahead and drop that back knee to the ground. Just lean into this lunge a little bit more. And when we're ready on an inhale, lifting those arms up, stacking those shoulders on top of your hips. Kind of just leaning into whatever's comfortable. And make sure that your hips too are still kind of like in line. You don't want to be kind of like staggered or anything, or one hip like more forward over the other one. You want to keep those hips in line. Nice strong core. You can have your hands up with me. I guess another good option too, if you don't want to have your hands up, you can put them on your hips. Wherever your hands are comfortable. From here, feel free to drop the hands behind your back even, and just open up that chest a little bit more. All right, on an inhale, you can start extending that front leg. And let go with your hands and start walking them out towards your foot. And again, if you need to lift the toes up, feel free to lift your toes up. All right, on an inhale, start putting a bend back into that front leg, lifting that body up again. Hands wherever's comfortable. And then on an inhale, we're going to drop the hands, one on each side of the foot. Curl up those back toes, lifting that back leg up off the ground. Bringing the right to meet the left. And of course, exhaling, bringing the body all the way down to the ground. Inhaling, lifting that chest up. And exhale, back up into our down dog. I think even from here too, we can take another child's pose again together. I want us to get a little bit of work in today. I can't grab a pillow, but from here, feel free to grab a pillow. I just really want this to be a kind of more of a relaxing practice, and me slightly crushing one of my kitties too in the process of doing our chaturanga. That's what going down to the push-up, up to cobra, back to down dog is a chaturanga. All right, on an inhale, feel free to find a nice, comfortable laying position on your stomach. And put your hands kind of like in like a goal post kind of position. You can have your head, I have my head tilted towards the right. Right now I'm going to be doing the right side first. But even from here, start bringing that right leg up, putting a nice 90-degree bend into it. And of course, just bringing it kind of up to whatever's comfortable. It doesn't have to be fully like parallel with your torso, but just up enough to where you're just nice and comfortable. Just such a nice, relaxing pose. And make sure you don't fall asleep on me. I'm going to do my best to not want to fall asleep right now either, because I just find this pose very relaxing. All right, feel free to bring your right foot back to meet the left, and you want to tilt your head over to the left side too as you're doing the left side, but then go ahead and bring the left foot up towards the left elbow. And of course, if you have a kitty with you and they're deciding to lay by your head, feel free to use them as a pillow. All right, from here, feel free to bring that left leg back down and meet the right. And this is another like restorative pose that I kind of like to do, but go kind of go up onto your elbows right here and kind of like lifting the chest up with that as well. Kind of place your head in your hands, and kind of the way to adjust this position is so if you have your elbows pretty close into your body and even kind of say they're really close together, if this is too much for you, feel free to bring the elbows out. You can even like have the elbows away from each other as well. It's a lower back kind of stretch right now, so you're gonna want to feel it there. And if, like I said, having your elbows really close in towards your body is uncomfortable, bring the elbows away from you. And if it is even too much having your elbows like touching, you can have the elbows not as close. I hope this is kind of making sense, but this is just something you want to feel in the lower back. And And it is just kind of something you got to play around with also. It's really like a personal stretch on how you're feeling in your back. But I also just find it very relaxing. I like lower back stretches. All right, go ahead and release that and find your way to your back. You can go ahead and bring your knees in, give yourself a nice big hug. You can kind of rock yourself back and forth or like side to side a little bit. I feel like when I do like side to side though, I might like fall over, so like going side to side, but just getting a little massage in the back. You can even circle the ankles out here too, you know. Just really play around with it. That's what I love about yoga too, is just, you can just really make it your own. All right, from here, I'm gonna extend my right leg out, cross the left over my body, bring my left hand out at my side. I'm looking towards everybody right now, over my left side. All right, on an inhale, feel free to go back to center and bring the right leg back to meet the left. We'll go ahead and extend that left leg out, crossing the right leg over the body, looking out towards our right, and extend it out at our side. All right, on an inhale, feel free to bring it back up to center here. You can bring that left leg back to meet the right. And we're gonna go into what's called happy baby pose next. And so kind of bring your knees apart, go in and grab kind of the middle of your feet. And just the way to play around with this is to, you can kind of like push your knees kind of like out or more towards the side. You can go ahead and start even extending your legs. And extending your legs, and honestly, I just feel like you kind of look like a baby doing this pose, hence the name. And yeah, it's just a really good like kind of leg stretch. You can even try extending one leg out and then the other leg out. Bring them both. Yeah, you can bring them out towards your sides. You know, just kind of whatever's comfortable. Just definitely a pose you'll have to play with. You might rock yourself back and forth here. All right, I think from here, go ahead and find your comfortable laying position with me. Have your legs extended out. And have your hands, palms up facing the sky, or just whatever's comfortable. We're going to get into our Shavasana now. So go ahead and start focusing on your breathing. We can take a couple deep breaths here together as well. So we'll inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go ahead and start breathing at a rate that's comfortable for you. And just really be mindful and aware of the sounds around you, even the sound of my own voice. And just start to let go of any tension that you may be holding on in the body, whether that's in the shoulders, the arms, the legs. Right, we can start kind of wiggling our toes, our fingers, just like slowly starting to wake the body up. Doing a nice big stretch. And slowly start sitting up too, and when you're ready, you can meet me in a nice seated position. But that's all I have for today's practice. Thank you so much for joining me. So just a little update with Up and Moving. Our schedule will be changing, so please check out the website for updates to be coming soon. This is also my last yoga video for a little while. I will be taking a little bit of a break. I need to kind of restore my energy even get more inspiration for other yoga videos. I feel like I kind of have been getting in a little, maybe not too much of a routine, but you know, I need to find more inspiration right now in my life. I'm in such a transition period, but you guys will see me again soon though. Dr. Elmer has my email. I will be coming back at some point, but namaste everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm a little sad, but I'll be back.